Okay. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get into our artist lunch break for today. Right as I was getting ready to start this, my neighbor decided to mow his lawn. Oh my word. So that's lovely. But those are the things about lives that you can't control. So hopefully he'll be done quickly and it won't be too much of a distraction. Also, I am on Instagram Live and I'm also on YouTube Live. So hi and welcome. My name is Maria and I am with My Art Pixie. And I'm so glad that you are here. I'll just welcome people as they start popping on. Um, but again, sorry for the distraction. But welcome if you are new, and I'm so glad that you're here. And maybe this will be a way that you can get to know me a little better. And then also, thank you for those who have been supporting me throughout these years of YouTube and just aspiring to be an artist and illustrator. So I really appreciate that too. I'm here to help you rekindle the artist in you. I have been in that place where life has taken over and I have kids to raise and I have a career to start, and all of those things kind of get in the way. And then you lose or kind of get off track of that thing that you really love and you really enjoy. So let me just send this really quickly. Okay. So if you have any questions during this time, please don't hesitate to write them in the chat and I will try to get to them. Also, if I don't see it for some reason, I will try to get to it later. All right. So this is a series that I'm doing for the month of May, just meeting and kind of taking a deep dive into this topic, different topics so that you can learn how to rekindle the artist in you. So this week I'm talking about overwhelm to discovery. So if you didn't catch my video yesterday, I do have a video that introduces it. It's a little more fun because it has visuals and things like that. So if you have a minute, you can go check that out. I go over step 1 and step 2, and today I'm going to dive a little deeper into step 3. So let's recap. So step 1 is to be kind to yourself. When you get a new medium that you've never used before, you're not going to instantly be able to work with that medium. It's going to take time for you to discover those skills. And so be kind to yourself. And then the second one was to grab a sketchbook and start working in that more on a consistent basis, so that you can discover that new medium or rekindle that medium that maybe you used to work with all the time and you would like to get better at it. Okay, so today we're going to talk about step 3. And step 3 is to grab a resource to help you. And you're basically going to pick up a step-by-step art book, or if it's not art, maybe you're writing or something like that, you would pick up a book that would kind of guide you through a step-by-step process. I have art books, so I'm going to show you a few of them. Where I recommend that you work from the beginning of the book all the way through the end. And I had mentioned before, you want to work on this skill for a good 3 months. So you don't have to finish the book like straight away. Take your time, work on it at a pace that is comfortable for you. But basically, you're going to pick up a book on the basics of watercolor or the basics of pen and ink or something like that. And then it's just going to be done in baby steps. So baby steps, or just, taking bite-sized pieces at a time so that you begin to get good at that skill. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. But this one is everyday watercolor. And I do have a video that shows this page by page. And what I really like is that she has different days that you can go through, and then she literally like has a little sketch that you can do, and then the step-by-step approach. So I know it's I'll just show you the front of it, but I will link it below on my YouTube. So when we do, when you see the replay, you can go check it out. And I show the whole book in that video. And then also, you could also go to my videos and scroll down and you can find it that way too. I also have done one with Hello Watercolor. She does kind of a similar approach where she does a step-by-step and different exercises. So you can take it exercise by exercise. And then she also has, I believe here in the back, just different, shows you the color palettes and everything that you can use for these different step-by-step exercises. And then also some templates that you can use as well. So super cool. Again, I have a video for that. I did the videos last summer. So they're there. You can go check them out. Then this one is a beautiful book. The artwork is gorgeous. But she does the very similar thing. And I'm sorry, I'm not saying the artist. So this Modern Watercolor Botanicals is by Sarah Simmons. The Hello Watercolor is by Jeannie Dixon. And the Everyday Watercolor is by Gina Rainey. So again, I will link those, or you can go watch those videos. But this one, she does the same thing, where she's got the different lessons that you can go through. And then in the back, she also has some templates available that you can use. So these are just 3 examples of some books that I have used, and just taking it step by step and learning that new skill, refreshing yourself about that new skill. And then I'm gonna grab one more if I can get it. So we have a half-priced bookstore here. I think most people might be familiar with that, but I was in there and I found this calligraphy book, and it kind of has the same thing where it has the lines and the work so that you can get used to calligraphy. And then I can put that in or work that in with some of my art pieces, especially when it comes to my art journaling, my watercolor journals and things like that. So it's a skill that I would like to get better at. And by taking that step-by-step approach, then I'll get better over time. So the other thing to keep in mind is that you will improve upon this art skill over time. It will definitely happen. So let me check this connection. Hold on a second. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to recap for those of you who are just getting on Instagram Live. There was a connection problem. So we're live now and we are good. So I have already been on YouTube Live for a few minutes. So just to recap, welcome if you're new. And thank you if you've been around. And then yesterday I put out a video on my YouTube. You can go watch it. And I just talked about how you need to be kind to yourself when you're starting back up in art, or if you're starting a new medium or something like that. Be kind to yourself. And then step 2 is get a sketchbook and start filling it up with all the ideas. So those of you who are on YouTube Live, I do apologize. I'm going to show these books again for those who just got onto Instagram. So hi, Zoe. And I've got Babs4234 just joined. So welcome. So I have 3 videos on YouTube that you guys can go watch. And my tip number 3 is to go grab a step-by-step art book that you can work through in bite-sized pieces and really get a grasp on whatever that new skill is that you're trying to do. I have this Hello Watercolor by Jeannie Dixon. I have a video. It steps you through the entire book. And she's got some great step-by-step approaches. Modern Watercolor Botanicals by Sarah Simmons. This is great because she has a lot of step-by-step, but then also some templates in the back that you can work with. Again, go check out that video on my YouTube channel. I show you all the pages and what chapters and things like that. And then Everyday Watercolor by Gina Rainey, also a great one. And she goes a step beyond and gives you a color palette that you can also match. So great books. Highly recommend that you go check them out. And then you can pick those up on Amazon. Amazon's a great place to find all kinds of books. Of course, your local bookstores. The library. Don't forget about the library. You can go check out a book and work on that skill and just take it step by step. So the idea is to take it at bite-sized pieces so that you can get better and better at that skill. This calligraphy book I picked up at the Half Price Bookstore. I'm sure some of you are familiar with that, but it also has calligraphy where you can kind of step by step go through that, which is a great thing to integrate into my watercolor journals and things like that. So, hi, Ashley. Let me see if I can do the wave. There we go. Got it. All right. So just taking the exercise by exercise approach will really help you to gain a lot of skill, but it will also help you to gain a lot of confidence in whatever that medium is that you want to work on. So have you ever heard of the rule of 100? If you have, put a heart emoji of whatever color in the comments so that I can see it and know that you are familiar with the rule of 100. Anybody know that? Let me tell you about it because I think that it is a golden nugget that everybody should know, no matter what discipline you are working on. So the rule of 100 states that if you spend 100 hours in a year on a given skill, a given discipline, that's 18 minutes a day. So this could be karate, violin, painting, piano, anything. If you do that, by the end of the year, you'll be better than 95% of the world, not just, where you are locally, but in the world at this skill or discipline. So with that being said, 18 minutes is not a lot of time. You could spend 18 minutes in this everyday watercolor every day. And by the end of the year, you would be golden. You would have gotten to a point with that skill that you would feel comfortable with it, and you would feel more confident. And it's all about consistency. So you just have to plan to be consistent. So every morning I get up and I make my bed. Why? Because it just makes my bedroom look better, right? When I come back in the evening after work or whatever. It just makes me feel better. I brush my teeth every day, right? Takes a few minutes, but everybody is really happy that I do that. Let's see what else. Anything that you do, getting ready in the morning, doing my makeup, getting my hair done, and that kind of thing. 18 minutes a day. So I've gotten better at those skills and they become routine and they become habit. And so it's the same thing. So set those 18 minutes aside to work through your book or to work in your sketchbook on a daily basis, and you will get better at that particular skill. So how cool is that? Like, you think that this is going to be like a huge task and you're going to be completely overwhelmed, but actually discovery is a lot of fun and it doesn't take a lot of time for you to get better at a skill. So I talked about in my video yesterday about how you can get so overwhelmed when you're starting something new. And it is true. But if you take a step back, be kind to yourself, and then just start taking this approach of a little bit at a time, you will get better and better. So if anyone has any questions, I'm going to let you go ahead and drop those in the comments. While you're dropping them in the comments, I'm going to talk about just my own story of overwhelm to discovery. So in college, I took a watercolor class and I was so excited because I had always wanted to do watercolor. It looked like a lot of fun and I was really interested in it. So I bought all the stuff and I was ready for class, and I quickly learned that it wasn't as easy as I thought it would be. In that class, the teacher actually recommended that we go get a sketchbook, a journal, a watercolor journal that we can start collecting ideas and practicing our watercolor. And that was my first one. And I still have it. Should have brought it on the live, but whoops, I didn't even think about it. But I learned so much in that class, but I also felt overwhelming to me. It was fun to do the techniques and things like that, but I mean, it felt like so much more than I had bargained for. And then life went on. I had a family. I moved around, all of that kind of thing. Of course, I graduated, but let's fast forward 4 kids later, and I decided I would pick it back up. I would do it again. And I always think, why did I ever stop? I don't know. Life takes over, careers take over, and things like that, and other things become priority, right? But I would still dabble with art, and I would still dabble with painting and that kind of thing. But to take it more serious, I set the time aside and I started to rekindle my love for watercolor. And if anybody can relate, drop an emoji in the comments, because I know that I'm not alone in this. When you put something that you are super passionate about, you set it aside because of life things, and it just happens. So I got a watercolor journal, remembering that is what she had taught us to do, and I was so excited, and I just took it step by step, and I retaught myself those skills. And what happened is that I just got better over time. And I began to become more confident. And then my bonus tip is that I was able to find my own style, my own art style, which is super important. It's not, someone else that you follow on YouTube. It's not somebody else that you follow on Instagram. It's your own style that you begin to develop because you are intentionally and consistently spending time in that skill. And it really does pay off. So I didn't see any questions pop up, which is totally fine. I wrote a couple down. One of them is, where can I find these art books to kind of help me step through? I talked about Amazon, your local library. I'm sure there's local bookstores. There are, you could probably even pop into that. I just forgot the name of it. The Half Price Books, which I love. I love that store. You can get old and new, or used and new books in there. So that's a great place that you can check it out. And for the library too, you can check that out and then go back and get another one and try another one too, which is great. And then I wrote down this question: how many sketchbooks do I have? I have too many that I should probably be banned from the craft store or Amazon or anything. But I like different sizes, shapes, and sizes. I like just being able to have the ability to try different things. And I'm knocking my salt and pepper shaker over to pull this out. But so I have different books So this one's for sketching and for drawing and for working with pen and ink. And then I have, my watercolors that I work on different skills and things like that. So you have to forgive me. Being on YouTube Live and Instagram at the same time, I tend to forget sometimes. But here's a picture of the drawings if you didn't see it. So I have probably too many to mention, but just keep in mind that all you need is one. All you need is one sketchbook to start this skill, and then fill that up. Once you have that filled up, then, grab another one. Now, another reason I have multiple sketchbooks is because I work on different skill sets, right? So I will have a sketchbook for drawing. I will have a sketchbook for pen and ink. I will have a sketchbook for my watercolor, which I call my watercolor journal. So you can have differing sketchbooks depending on what skills that you are working on. But for the purpose of this overwhelm to discovery, if you get that medium home, I talked about colored pencils in my video. If you haven't watched that, you can go back and watch that from yesterday. But I talked about bringing those watercolor pencils home and you're just overwhelmed. But if you get a sketchbook and you just focus on that one skill throughout that sketchbook, and you do it 18 minutes a day, then you will get better at it. So I am excited that I can use that method, and it kind of helps me to keep organized too, because then if I want to work on watercolor, I know which sketchbook to grab, right? I know which sketchbook to grab, which sketchbook to put in my bag to go, and that kind of thing. So like if I'm gonna go out and say I'm gonna go to a coffee shop, then I'll take all the things I need for that watercolor sketchbook. If I know that I'm going to draw, then I would bring my bag of differing pens. I use micron pens and my book to then sketch in a coffee shop or things like that. There's a micron pen. I have a video about that too. So I started the year off with a video that talked about the different sketchbooks that I am using at the time. So if you want to go see that too, you can see all the sketchbooks that I'm using, but it's not necessary to have all of those sketchbooks. If you just want to focus on one skill and get better at it, maybe it's drawing hands. Maybe you are really terrible at drawing hands, and so you dedicate a sketchbook to take that step-by-step process of how to draw hands. You can pick up a book about drawing, and it would probably be for like the anatomy, so like hands, body, face, that kind of thing. If you want to get better at those skills, then just take it step by step and you will be golden. I promise. So you are going to look back a year from now and be like, thank you. Thank you, Maria, for pouring this into me and letting me know that if I just work on this for 18 minutes a day, I will get better. And you can prove me wrong. You can try it. And if it doesn't work, then you can be like, that didn't work. But go ahead and prove me wrong, because I bet you that it will work. I honestly do some sort of art every day. Sometimes it even goes beyond 18 minutes. But I really enjoy it. And I've made it a priority, and I've made it consistent in my life. So thank you for joining me with this artist lunch break, and I hope you enjoyed it. Reach out if you have any questions, and I'll be sure. I'm going to put this on YouTube as a replay so you can watch it again, and I'll put all those links down below. So, all right. Have a great day. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you later. Until next time. Bye.